All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to get us going on the second part of our maps discussion here. And you'll notice there's a video of me up in the upper corner, and I'm going to go ahead and remove that because we don't need to look at my face during all this anymore. So here we go. Here is a blank map. It has a bunch of dots with numbers next to them, and those numbers represent elevations above sea level, as we kind of talked about. And they're kind of random all over the place. You'll also notice there's a creek running down through the middle. That's Tornado Creek. We have a lake called Blizzard Lake down here at the bottom. And next to that is a scale, which we talked about. Those are very important, as well as the compass rose, which tells us that up is north, which is fairly typical. What I want to do is kind of look at turning this into a contour map, which is more useful than just a bunch of random numbers on a screen. So here's how we do that. First of all, the directions. It says to draw contour lines for 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, and 120 feet. And we're going to do the 20-foot contour line first. So basically, a contour line is a line that wherever I go, as long as I'm walking along that line, I'm at 20 feet. Well, if you look at where I just drew that, is 20 feet anywhere between 38 feet and 78 feet? Chances are probably not. So that's not where I want to draw that contour line. So the first thing to do is to find some elevations that are exactly 20, and there's one here and there's one here. Now, here's what not to do. And by the way, now would be a good time to switch to pencil if you haven't yet, because using ink on these can really cause a lot of heartache and depression. So I don't want that to happen to you. If I were to just take a red pen and do this, that is not a contour line. That is me connecting two 20s. And what I did is I just drew, again, if I were a person and I were here, I'm between 17 and 9, and that is not 20. So you can't do that. That is not how contour lines are drawn. We have to go through a process where we identify where the 20-foot elevations actually are. And here's how you do that. Look around the map, like the whole thing. Try to find some elevations that are about 20, and we already found this one, and we already found this one. But look around over here. Would you agree that the number 20 is between 17 and 27? Because I do, and I would guess or estimate that it's about right there. So if I was walking between 17 and 27, I'd probably hit 20 right where I just drew that dot. And that's what we have to do. You have to continue to pick consecutive numbers that you think the number 20 is in between. Are you going to get it right every time? No, because look, 23, 31. Is the number 20 between 23 and 31 if you were counting? No, so don't put a dot there. Find some other place. Use the 23, but this time look at the 9. And again, I'm picking any two dots that are next to each other. Is the number 20 between 9 and 23? I'd say so. It's probably closer to the 23. And again, I'm estimating because that's what we do in science is we estimate. And that is my next 20 dot. So I keep going and I keep looking. How about between 36 and 28? I'd say no. How about between 19 and 28? Probably right about here-ish, maybe. That's a little bit of a weird spot on this map, so we'll take another look at that in a minute. How about between, let's do 25 and 50? Well, no, it's not. 20 is not between those two numbers, so we look elsewhere. Notice if I try to go up here, there's nothing up there that is even close to 20, so I'm not even going to look up there. I'm going to stick to numbers that are pretty close to 20. Let's try, and oh, by the way, there's our given 20. That's like a free spot in bingo. How about between 40 and 23? So if I'm counting, do I hit 20? The answer is no. But if I do 40 to 10, now I've got a 20 probably right about there. Okay, so see what's happening is I'm creating points seemingly out of nowhere. How about 23 and 39? No. But if I do 23 and 10, now I've got a 20. Notice how close to the 23 it is? That's because the number 20 is really close to 23. And so you just keep on doing it, and you'll see another one. Oh, here's 18 and 39. So maybe like right there. And where do I go now? It looks like I'm getting close to the edge of the map. So maybe instead of going up here where there's no 20s, or down here where it gets below 20, maybe I just go off the map. So maybe between 18 and 29, I just head in this direction, and then eventually I'll just head off the map. So now you do the process where you connect these with a nice smooth line. And I'm going to do something here that you might not, might not like, but bear with me and we'll explain it a little bit here. So I'm going to connect them, and then I'm going to go up like this, make a very strange shape there, and then I'm going to head over. I kind of deviated from my dots a little bit, but that's okay because the 20 could be a little closer to my line, like right there. Now, what did I do by the river and why? Well, if you remember from part 1, I'll switch to red here. That makes a V shape that points upstream. And I told you didn't really need to totally understand why that is, but it's just the rule. So notice the V points toward higher elevations. So if we're doing 20 and then I look around, the higher elevations from 20 are all up here. So I'm going to make the V shape point that way. And again, the quick why is that if I were to go straight across here and like get in a boat and canoe across the river, I would be at 20 feet elevation, but I'd be on water, not actual rock. So I would need to dive deeper into the stream right there, and I would be below 20 feet. And then if I wanted to find 20 feet, I'd need to walk along the bottom of the stream and go up here a little bit so that I'd actually be back at 20 feet. That's why the contour line does that. But I talked about how it's not too important that you know the why as much as just that it bends upstream and makes that V shape. So we're going to leave it there. Now, the other thing that I like to do is I like to clean these up. So I'm going to erase the dots the best I can as I drew them. And I kind of probably took some line with me there. That's okay, but I can just redraw the line based on the dots, and it'll help me fix that where I touched the 19 by accident. That's okay. So what that does is it makes it look a little smoother and a little more clean. And honestly, it's just a fine-tuning thing. And I'm OCD, so I do stuff like that. So next one we are going to draw is 40 feet. So where are we going to start? Take a look around, look over here, look up there, see if you see anything near 40, and you're not going to. But down over here, you kind of go along the edge of the map. Where would I see a 40? Oh, well, here's 38 and 42. I bet you there's a 40 right there. So that's my first point. And you'll notice too, there's a couple other ones. Here's a 40 up here on the stream, and here's another one over there. So we're going to use those two to guide us. But I'm going to keep going from left to right and see where that 40 ends up going. So you can try 63 and 78. Uh-oh, the number 40 is not in between there, so don't go over there. How about 27 and 50? I bet you there is a 40 somewhere in there, probably closer to the 50, a little bit. And so we're just going to keep repeating, we're going to keep repeating that process. And I'm going to look around. Here's 36 and 60, so it's going to be right in between here, somewhere close to the 36. And notice it's kind of guiding me towards this 40 dot that's up here already. So I'm just going to let that be the next point, and then I'm going to keep looking over here and decide where to go. Notice I'm going to be drawn in the direction of this 40 now, where 25 and 50, I think there's a 40 somewhere in there, probably about there. And notice I'm not going over here. There's no 40s in that general area at all. Let's see, here's a 39, so I bet you 40 is somewhere around there. Maybe if you were looking at those two, it would be right about there, really close to the 39. And then looks like we're getting near the edge of the map again, so we just got to figure out where to take it. And it's going to go right over in between those two, very close to the 43, so right about there. And that's going to be it. So watch what happens with this as we connect those. And it kind of goes right up here, makes that point, heads back down, and we just kind of round it off and finish it up. And again, you can go through and erase dots later if you want. As you get better at this, like I said, you probably wouldn't even need, oops, you probably wouldn't even need dots. But for now, we'll just go with it. Oops, does not want me to erase my dots, see? Okay, good enough. So let's do, well, you're gonna do the next few by yourselves, except this one. I wanna do, we're gonna skip. I wanna go up to 100 feet. So look around the map and find areas that are around 100. And notice it won't probably be anywhere near that where we just drew down at the bottom because all those are very low numbers. So I actually only see this one right there. It's 100 foot right there. That's the only one I think that's actually 100. So that's not very helpful. Well, let's look around. On the left side over here, here's a 99, that's close. So maybe the 100 is right about there, between 99 and 105, and then 100 right between 94 and 102. And that's, I can't go over anywhere around here because there's no hundreds there, nothing even close. So this is gonna just kind of go on and off, that's it. No hundreds in here. And then over on the right, that's where we really gotta look carefully because look, I got the 100 that we already found, and then I'm gonna do that point test. 80 and 80, I don't think 100's in there anywhere. 117 and 89, I'd say it's right about there. So watch how these dots evolve as we keep making more of them. 99 and 113, 100's right next to it, next to the 99. 91 and 109, I bet you there's 100 right there somewhere. I bet there's one over here, 98 and 116, probably right about there. So I'm heading, it's actually guiding me back towards the other dot for 100 that I already had. So 94 and 125, probably right about there. So here's what's happening. Look at this. There's actually a shape that's starting to be created here, and it looks a little like this as you connect them smoothly. You get what we call a closed contour, or a circular contour, and that happens when you have a mountaintop or a hilltop. So something like that, you would have a 100-foot contour line that goes all the way around the mountain. So that's kind of what's going on over in the upper right here. So that's your 100-foot contour line. It's kind of strange, but you'll see this every time there's a hilltop, and it won't be too bad as you get the hang of it. So I'm going to let you pause this video, and you're going to do 60, 80, and I did 100, and then you can do the 120. So hit pause and come back in a second. You did not hit pause, you're just letting me do this for you. You're a rebel. I like that. But honestly, you probably did pause and you probably worked it out, so let's see how you did. Here is my 60-foot line, and I'm not going to go through the process every time here, but you can always use mine to gauge how you did. Notice it makes the V shape right at the top there, and then comes back down like this, hits that 60 in between those two guys right there, and then it's going to wrap around off the map, just like that. Okay, 80 foot. I'm going to draw mine right through that plus sign, which we'll figure out why later, and then does that. And then over here on the right, looks like there's an 80. This is going to kind of do this, and I've got to decide what I want to do with that. So let's figure it out. Oh, look at this. It goes right between 82 and 75. And then it's going to head over towards this 80. And it looks like I have to go off the map because these are in the 90s, so I can't go over there. So I'll just do that same thing over here and make it go off the map. So that's it. And then 100 we did, 120, this is an easy one. Over here on this side, there's no 120s, nothing close. So over here near point B, basically this is it. It's another circular one that goes like that. And notice everything inside that little circle is above 120 and everything outside is below. Same for 100. If you look at this line right here, everything inside of it is above 100. Everything outside of it is less, except over here. So that kind of tells you how you did or if you did it right. So there's your first full, complete contour map. And I'm sure you're probably jumping up and down with excitement because, wow, what a great and fun process to just do over and over and over again. So that's going to lead us to the third part and hopefully the final part of our little video series here about maps. So we'll kind of look at some of the features of the map and answer some questions about it in the next part. So I'm going to hit pause and I encourage you to do the same.